Three words that touch avoidance deeper than I love you. In most relationships, people assume that the most powerful words you can say are I love you. Those three words carry weight, history, and emotion. But when you are dealing with someone who has an avoidant attachment style, the emotional landscape is very different. Avoidants are not usually afraid of love itself. They are afraid of what love might demand from them. Deep inside, many avoidants associate closeness with pressure, expectations, or the risk of losing their independence. So when someone says I love you, instead of feeling safe, they can sometimes feel trapped. Their mind quietly starts asking questions like, what will they expect from me now? Will I lose my space? Will I be able to live up to this? And because of that internal tension, the words that actually reach an avoidant's heart are often something else entirely. Three simple words that communicate safety instead of pressure. I understand you. When an avoidant hears I understand you, something subtle but powerful happens in their nervous system. For perhaps the first time, they feel that they are not being chased, judged, or forced to open up before they are ready. Many avoidants grew up in environments where their emotional needs were minimized or misunderstood. As children, they often learned that the safest way to survive emotionally was to rely on themselves and keep their deeper feelings hidden. So in adulthood, when someone tries to get close too quickly, their instinct is to pull back, not because they do not care, but because closeness activates old fears of being overwhelmed or misunderstood. This is why I understand you touches them so deeply. Those three words signal emotional patience. They say, you don't have to perform for me. You don't have to rush. I see your boundaries, and I respect them. And ironically, when an avoidant feels understood rather than pursued, they often become more willing to step closer on their own. Psychological research on attachment theory supports this idea. Experts like John Bowlby and later psychologists studying attachment patterns found that avoidantly attached individuals develop protective strategies to maintain emotional distance. These strategies are not acts of coldness, they are defense mechanisms built over years. So when someone approaches them with empathy instead of demand, their defenses slowly begin to soften. Understanding becomes the emotional bridge that love alone cannot always create. Think about it this way. Saying I love you can sometimes sound like a declaration that expects a response. But saying I understand you removes the invisible pressure that avoidants fear. It communicates something rare in their world, emotional freedom within connection. It tells them they are not being asked to change who they are just to be accepted, and that feeling can be profoundly disarming. In fact, many avoidants secretly crave exactly this kind of connection. Beneath the calm exterior and the desire for space, there is often a deep wish to be known without being controlled. When someone demonstrates understanding, it breaks a pattern they may have experienced their entire life. Instead of someone demanding closeness or interpreting their need for distance as rejection, they encounter a person who sees the complexity of their inner world. That moment can stay with them long after the conversation ends. Another reason these three words carry such emotional power is that they shift the dynamic of the relationship. When people chase avoidance with constant reassurance or emotional intensity, the avoidant often feels cornered. But understanding creates space. And paradoxically, space is exactly what allows many avoidants to feel safe enough to move closer. It is like holding a bird in your hand. The tighter you grip, the more it struggles to escape. But when you hold gently, it may choose to stay. In relationships with avoidance, emotional safety is often built not through declarations, but through quiet signals of respect and awareness. And over time, those signals become more meaningful than grand romantic statements. So the next time you feel tempted to prove your feelings with the words I love you, remember that for an avoidant, love is not always about hearing how deeply someone feels. Sometimes it is about feeling understood without being pressured to respond immediately. Those three simple words, I understand you, can slip past defenses, calm fears, and create a level of trust that many avoidants rarely experience. And when an avoidant finally feels understood, something remarkable often happens. They begin to reveal parts of themselves that they usually keep hidden from the world. Not because they were forced to, but because for once, they feel safe enough to be seen.